I almost tripped. So. Oh, there you go.
So, welcome to another media session. You heard yesterday in a press conference with Bernard Charles, as well as a cast of characters about IQMS, WorkS, and you're probably wondering, what is it? How does it work? Tell me more, give me details. That is what this session is for. So, it is being live streamed. So when we move to Q&A, I ask that you use the mic. I'll hand it to you, speak your name and the publication for which you write, or say freelance, and then go ahead with your question, okay? So without further ado, Gary NEMMERS, CEO of IQMS, Manish Kumar from SOLIDWORKS R&D, and the redoubtable Philippe Charles
Standing.
As well. Now standing. So Gary, Manish, it's all you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Manish, you have the clicker?
I don't have the clicker, but I have my finger.
You have your finger. Okay.
Okay, so Dassault Systems has been around for a long time. And this is a slide which explains the journey that we have taken over many years. 3D design is the root of everything that we have done. From both Dassault Systems' point of view, from SolidWorks' point of view, we started as a 3D design company. We created everything in order to create 3D models. Then at some point, we started to go in the digital mock-up environment where we were able to create virtual planes. 3D or PLM was invented in 1999, which was the product lifecycle management, which was for a bigger enterprise. And then in 2012, 3D Experience came into existence. Now, with this, you can see that we have tried to go from solid modeling to engineering to enterprise to manufacturing and business processes. We are trying to cover the much broader market. If I look at just SolidWorks, from SolidWorks, when SolidWorks was formed in 1993, actually, December 1993, it was formed with an idea that we are going to create, or we are going to give the power of 3D to all our users on their machines. So to bring power of 3D to your device was our motto. And at that time, our customer that we tried to target was mechanical engineers. It was 1993, almost 25 years back, 26 years now. Today, that is no longer true. Even today, we serve our electrical engineers by SolidWorks Electrical. We serve our PCB customers with SolidWorks PCB. We have simulation software. We have manufacturing software, and so on. So we have expanded our user base from serving to mechanical engineers to people who are in any kind of manufacturing industry. Now, that itself has expanded our horizon in a way. This latest acquisition of IQMS and WorkS is just an expansion in that particular direction because we were trying to be design-centric. We were trying to serve everything around design, electrical, data management, manufacturing, simulation. It was all around design. We have expanded it to go beyond design to business processes. This is where this video is going to give you a brief overview of what IQMS is.
Dassault Systèmes 3D Experience platform powers our brand applications to become the business operations provider for manufacturers. In the context of the industry renaissance, the world's small and mid-sized manufacturers must adopt and optimize new ways of producing and doing business through digital transformation. We must no longer think of industry as a set of means of production, but as a process of value creation. This applies not only to disruptive startups and established corporations, but also to the hundreds of thousands of mainstream manufacturers that produce parts integral to the development of new consumer experiences. With the acquisition of IQMS, Dassault Systèmes gains a wealth of experience and over 1,000 customers across the global automotive, medical, consumer, digital transformation to gain efficiency and agility in their day-to-day operations. Utilizing IQMS's extensive manufacturing software product offering, award-winning support and educational services, Dassault Systèmes will fulfill our commitment of delivering a comprehensive manufacturing ERP system built specifically for these mid-market manufacturers.
So the point I would like to re-emphasize is it is meant for the mid-market manufacturing customers, and that's why the name was selected to be NEMMERS. It is an exclusive mid-market offering.
Which we now call mainstream. If you heard Bernard, it's mainstream. We've redefined it. So we as Dassault Systèmes no longer say mid-market, we say mainstream.
Okay, so this is your slide.
Okay, I don't have a clicker, just my finger?
Yes.
Yeah. Old school technology, right? So we as IQMS, now NEMMERS, before the acquisition, we did our own market studies of total available market. $5 billion annual customer spending on mainstream ERP software. And again, mainstream is mid-market. Represents 250,000 mainstream manufacturers. 250,000, that's the available market. And of that, we think it's actually more than 55,000 now, but let's be cautious and say 55,000 current SOLIDWORKS customers running manufacturing operations, running SOLIDWORKS. Of those customers, 600. So we have 60% of our customer base is also, the 250,000 represents the collective where we think a lot of this business resides, and the $5 billion is the annual customer spend, and growing at 7% per year, according to the analysts. So today, we have two independent worlds. 38th day of my and our company's existence with Dassault. I see head shaking. We love that story. It's 38 days and counting. And Philippe says, "You're still here?" Yes. So I'm still here. I'm here for the long haul.
It's been closed for most of that time.
What's that?
The U.S. government was closed for most of that time.
We won't talk about politics in the U.S. It's way too divided. This room would be half and half, I believe. But here's today. The today world is SOLIDWORKS world. It's concept and design, right? It's simulate, it's release and publish to a producer, to a manufacturer. My world, IQMS, now NEMMERS world, is right here. So this is the full resource planning. And I think a lot of you were in when I've made a number of presentations in the past couple of days when I talked about the beginnings of IQMS. Over 25 years ago, started on the shop floor as pure MES. The ERP grew around it, and so it is one historical, native, complete, fully integrated flow all the way through from a concept design coming in from SOLIDWORKS or somewhere, bless you, to order to cash, procure to pay, produce, manufacturing, MES, ship to warehouse, one system. And that's the system that we have.
Yeah.
This next slide. I love the automation arrows.
It should be the other way around.
The automation arrows go backwards. Did you guys notice that? Yeah. That was a trick. We wanted to see if you noticed. Maybe it's a French thing. I don't know. I love it though. Maybe European. But this is our idea on the 3D platform. And please notice, this is the important part right here. The compass. The compass is the 3D platform. It's how consumers across the world think of things on a day-to-day basis, right? Right? Platform is everything. Last night, got in an Uber, platform. I'm one of the early investors, thank you, in Netflix. Entertainment, platform, right? Bernard's vision over so many years has been the platform will be what drives everything in the world, including mid-market manufacturers, from conceptual design, SOLIDWORKS, which, by the way, is integrated now to our ERP and our 600 some common customers. It's fully integrated. It's through APIs, but it's not a great integration. So we're having our R&D teams build that and make sure that that's done. So fully integrated all the way through the ERP, the MES, and again, ship quality product out the door or to warehouse or wherever it might go. This is the vision for tomorrow, and tomorrow began 38 days ago. So our R&D teams are already hard at work figuring out over the course of the next months to even years, right? Your team, my team have come together. They started coming together December 11th after the merger was announced. Do you remember?
Yes.
And even before then, we were thinking. Manish was like, before they even bought the company and signed the definitive merger agreement on December 11th, Manish, my team, we're talking. We're like, what if we did this? What if we did this? And it's going to be on the platform, and it's going to be connected to SolidWorks. That's the rationale, right? We have 55,000 customers that are SolidWorks customers, of which 600 or so are common customers. What about all those other customers? How does the channel reach all those customers? And that's tomorrow, which is today.
So, in fact, if I may add, these two slides are the core strategic slides in my view, because design and manufacturing was two different worlds, not really talking to each other. This seamless, continuous business loop is what is bringing IQMS and SolidWorks together.
Yeah.
So this is, in my view, this is the most beautiful slide. Maybe not visually, but strategically, this is the most visual. Everything being driven by 3D Experience platform, because that is the single source of truth. All the data lies there, everything connected together because of that.
Yeah. And eventually, to also be on the marketplace, on the platform. And if you follow Dassault Systèmes, you understand what the marketplace is over the past year or two. It's been a year, maybe two?
Yeah.
A year or so, yeah?
Last year it was announced in at SolidWorks World.
Okay, so 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year.
1 year, and be on the marketplace. More than half of our current customers, our 1,000 customers, are contract manufacturers. So when they hear about the marketplace, they're like, I have a place to be a contract manufacturer? This is incredible. And it's on the platform, and it's where the ERP is going to reside with the SolidWorks on the front end. So it's a very great story to tell. So it's a very beautiful slide for me, too. Very beautiful. Do we have another video?
Yes, it's the Pro Charger.
Do we have sound?
Accessible Technologies designs, manufactures, and markets turbo machinery, primarily superchargers for the aftermarket automotive industry. We utilize IQMS across virtually our entire business, from CRM through purchasing, inventory, production, through ECOs. We've also used SolidWorks for approximately as long as we've used IQMS, and it's obviously a fantastic tool. To have those two more integrated is fantastic. It's the heart of what our company does. We design quite a few complex parts. We also manage the product over time, and the feedback we get from customers regarding potential improvements is just invaluable, having that direct relationship and getting that information. And so the ECO process within IQMS allows us to translate that feedback into improvements in an effective fashion.
By having IQMS and SolidWorks, it tremendously speeds up that development process. We pride ourselves in being first to market, and so time is of essence, and having the right tools in the right individuals' hands ultimately gives the product out to the public as fast as possible.
To be a leader, you have to work hard, without a doubt, but to be a leader over time, you have to work smart, and that combination of both IQMS and SolidWorks helps us work smart.
One of my favorite customers. I'm a car guy, but they have the wrong motors. I have German cars. Those are American cars.
Well, we can change that.
Bad motors. This is what I was speaking to earlier as far as how the product was built. So you see the blue in the center is the MES. It's the shop floor. Our CMO, Chief Marketing Officer Steve Bazad, is in the room here. He likes to say that back when the software was built 25 plus years ago, we were IoT before IoT was IoT. Think about it, because think about what the MES was collecting even 25 plus years ago. We're collecting real-time shop floor production and process monitoring data. And think about what IoT and and the renaissance of all that means over the past how many years that IoT has been an acronym, right? Think about that. And we were IoT before IoT was even cool. Is that what you say, Steve? Okay. All right, there it is. There it is. Before IoT was cool. So end-to-end visibility, obviously the resource planning, and we all know what ERP is what was built around, and you can see all the different roles and components of what that means as you go through order processing from the front end. And now to put SOLIDWORKS right here, the conceptual, the prototype, the design, fully integrated into this end-to-end solution is what the rationale is, and is what, as you say, is very beautiful.
Yeah, we'll do it together.
It's what we do. Further, when I came into the company 4 years ago, into IQMS, now Delmia Works, the company was very heavily plastic oriented, and folks in the room, like Tony, that know our company, we were very heavy plastic oriented. We look vastly different 4 years later. We're in metals. We were very heavy in automotive. Now we're very heavier in medical device and industrial and consumer product packaged goods. So we've done a nice job in taking the company that was at 1.4 years ago very heavily automotive plastic injection molded oriented, more than 50% of our business, to where that bucket is now about 26 or 25% of our business. And so we've been able to blend across and get into other parts of discrete and limited batch process manufacturing. And we've done a good job in 4 years to get there to this point. Meaning that we can now just not stay in plastics and go into the SOLIDWORKS channel, which is, again, the rationale behind the merger and how we can scale the business. This now means that we can do it not just in one sector or maybe two sectors. We have very parallel, I think, sectors to where Dassault Systèmes currently plays in the three channels that it has of a business. The customers on here, honestly, we put them up and then we said, which of these customers are also SOLIDWORKS customers? And so this is the strong SOLIDWORKS presence as well. You can see that this is just a snapshot, maybe 5% of our customer base. And you can see the synergy between SOLIDWORKS and Delmia Works, IQMS. The key industries I just talked about and how we were heavy in automotive, we're now equally as important in medical and also in consumer and industrial. And maybe a question is, what does industrial mean? And we can answer that. Everybody knows what automotive, medical device, and consumer is, obviously, but industrial is steep as that. Pipes and valves and metal stampings and fittings and things like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then final slide, fundamentals, mid-market, mainstream.
Mainstream.
We should have changed it. It's like Bernard's not here, but he might be watching. Mainstream, mid-market, we define it as 10 million manufacturers. Sometimes we go below that. We've had some startups that are well-funded that we say, wow, you guys are going to explode and grow. We'll take you on. You can buy our software, right? And they typically buy it in a SaaS model, cloud model, and boom, they go. And so we go below the 10 million, but roughly it's 10 million to 250 million is what we describe as that mid-market mainstream manufacturing space. We address discrete batch. I talked about batch a little bit. If you think of continuous batch like oil and refinery and gasoline, we don't do that. We don't do that. It's pure process manufacturing, and we don't do that yet. But we stay in discrete and somewhat batch. Production of distinct items compared to a continuous process I just mentioned, like oil and gas. Batch process, recipe packaging, we do. Make to order, make to stock, not engineered to order. There's a lot of smaller ERPs that have MES that handle that market. The market that we don't do, the engineered to order, the one-offs, I need 10 of these. That's the only thing I need. And our customers are not those customers. Does that make sense? And with that,
we're done.
If we think about it,
floor is open to questions.
Floor is open to questions. We have microphones. Derek?
Questions? Speak now, Stefan.
Stefan Rath from Germany.
Hi, Stefan. Again.
KE amazing. Can you tell us something about the integration from the technology side, how you exchange data between PDM, CAD, and IQMS, and exchange data to the marketplace? So is that working with a standard integration or API, or really integrated?
Currently, it's API with our common customers that are using SolidWorks, but I'll let Manish.
This morning we showed a video on how we are trying to integrate Make with IQMS during the R&D session. I can try to find that video and I can play it. But in short, a lot of when you try to place an order on Make, the order goes to a service provider, to a manufacturing shop. The manufacturing shop has to take into consideration that there may be things which are already being processed. They already have schedules for everything. They already have tasks at hand. Now, when this new thing is going to come into picture, how would they modify their existing scheduling? How are they going to ship what I want at the time I want at the price I want? In fact, how would they give me the price code? All that is going to be provided by IQMS, where the moment I ask for something, if I, as a manufacturer, has a complete visibility into my shop floor, into my operations, into my literally everything on my shop floor, I will be able to predict whether I have inventory to produce, whether I have the right manual labor to produce that particular thing. People might be on vacation, people might be on leave.
That's resource planning.
Resource planning, whether I have to change the scheduling which is going on. So considering all that, we will be able to, so in short, if I am a Make service provider, I will be able to use IQMS services as of today to do a much better integration with Make to provide the right product at the right time at the right price. Now, integration with SolidWorks, as far as that is concerned, as of now, it is still API based, and we'll have to see how we'll try to merge it more closely together, because now we are one single company.
So did you plan to integrate it more? I mean, if you exchange a BOM, bill of material.
You bet.
At the moment, it's like any other ERP MES product.
Yeah. As he said, he is 38 days old.
38 and a half.
30 and a half. Things will evolve.
So the R&D teams have come together, like I said, Stefan, since December 11th, started talking, and now since January 3rd, since the merger closed, they're heads down, figuring out the technology side of it, not just the SolidWorks connection to the ERP, MES, but also to the marketplace. And we have a demo we built in the pavilion. I don't know if you've seen that in the demo.
Yeah, actually it is playing live in pavilion, so you can see that.
Yeah, it's playing live, yeah.
Early stage.
It is early stage.
Early, everything's early.
Yes.
Everything's early. Thank you.
Michelle.
Michelle Boucher from Tech Clarity. It's really great that there's so much customer overlap, so many existing SolidWorks customers, and a very compelling story for those SolidWorks customers. I know it's still early, but what's the message for those who might be using Creo or an Autodesk product or a different CAD system?
A different CAD system?
It is open. I mean, we will never try to say that since you're a Creo user, you cannot use IQMS.
We have customers. We know we have customers that use a different CAD system. We haven't talked to them specifically, Steve Bazat, about.
You want to add something?
But we know who they are, and we think it could be some greenfield space for us to go to them or through the channel and say, have you looked? And some of the customers we've talked to that sit on our customer advisory board have said, oh, well, we are using a competitor product, but we've heard a lot of good things about SolidWorks. Maybe now we should figure it out. Do we get a discount? And we say, wait a minute. Just because we're part of Dassault Systems, there's no discount, sorry. So the activity is already there. We're not going to try to dissuade any of our customers to move off their current CAD, but certainly it's the opportunity to talk to them about it.
Actually, I would say it was explained on I believe by Bernard yesterday that our competition is Excel files because in most of those customer spaces, they are using Excel in order to do these kind of things. So as long as we can replace your Excel with a more beautiful connected system, we'll do it.
Yeah. I think his comment about Excel also was about ERPs as well, across the world. So not just for the design, but ERP is in general.
True,
yeah,
true.
Yeah, yeah.
Mark.
Given that you do have so many SolidWorks customers already, so many joint customers, I'm just curious, what types of integrations or interfaces have they requested from you? My general sense is the big deal would be to have integrated BOM management, pointers back to the material master, for example, in building an engineering BOM, using elements of an engineering BOM in the manufacturing side. So, I don't know if...
Internally, between our R&D teams already. So that when the questions come, we'll have a ready answer for them or an answer that's coming for them. But no one has asked any of that yet.
No, I'm just curious, why not?
Do you know?
No, to answer you differently, since I don't yet know all the customers of IQMS, but I know that between our team and IQMS R&D team, we have already talked about the EBOM and MBOM simplification. How can we try to create one unified system?
Yeah, that's our teams talking.
Plus, the change management is the other big thing.
Right. It's just curious to me, though, with SAP PLM or SAP to other PLM systems, the questions of that integration have come up all the time. So I would imagine IQMS as an ERP/MES environment, I would have expected those questions to come up, but they haven't.
38 days, Mark. It's too young.
No, but I'm saying before December 11th.
Yeah. Oh, no, they really haven't. Not to my knowledge. I don't have any here from our dev team, but perhaps they have. Steve, do you have any idea?
Well, the preponderance of the base runs SolidWorks, and one of the key uses...
Can you take a microphone, please?
Take the mic.
Oh, hey. So the preponderance of the base is SolidWorks, and one of the preponderant needs has been tooling, which is three-dimensional. So the 2D vendors have not put as much demand on us as the 3D vendors, which was dominated by SolidWorks. Okay.
But, yeah, it's still even with the tooling. Well, okay. It's a longer discussion.
That was Steve Bazat, Chief Marketing Officer for Delmia Works.
Thank you for that introduction.
Yeah.
Hi, Steve. Hi. Other questions? So you mentioned a customer advisory panel.
Yes.
And the first thought that I had was, what was their feedback to you upon acquisition?
Great question. Steve, CMO, and myself reached out with an email that Philippe and I wrote to those customers, 45 customers. Not all our biggest customers, but there are strategic customers. So they're a blend of smaller and automotive and med device. They're all over the world. It's a very good customer advisory board. Reached out to them in an individual letter from Philippe and myself, saying to them, because you're a customer advisory board member, we'd like to spend 30 minutes with you or however much time you need to explain the Dassault Systèmes buying of our company, what it means for you, what it means for the future, and to give you our points on it and answer your questions. We reached out to Steve, almost every one of them, and we had probably 35 plus calls, you and myself. And on those calls, the feedback was very positive. You saw from the SolidWorks joint customer slides with the verticals we plan, you saw that I think it was about 80% of our customers that are on the customer advisory board, and we didn't know this, they're also SolidWorks customers. So they said, we know Dassault. We know Dassault Systèmes. Yeah, and we're happy with this. The only comment/concern they had was, what's Dassault going to do with, Dassault Systèmes going to do with your R&D spend, which has been fantastically high for the past 4 years, Gary, since you got to the business. You've really ramped up the spend. Almost 20% of revenue was going back into the product last 3 years. And I said, I have a great answer for you. You're going to be very happy. Dassault Systems is a product-centric, R&D-centric, engineering-centric company, first and foremost. And they heard that, and they said, so you're going to spend more? And I said, yes, we're going to spend more. And I said that to Bernard Charles yesterday, and he said, right answer. So, question?
Jay Fleishauer, Griffin Securities. Question maybe for Manish. Of the more than 300 SOLIDWORKS resellers, how many have specialties in or material exposure to one or more of the 4 markets that IQMS depends upon? And over the next number of years, how realistic is it that most, if not all of those, would be certified to sell Delmia Works?
Good question.
That is a very good question, but I will have to.
Matter of fact, we had a meeting this morning with Bruno that topic came up, is how do we dissect the current 300 some channel partners, and who knows in those markets where they play. And it's all part of the program we're building to identify which of those geos, which of those partners within geos are the first ones that we can put into phase 1 into enablement of reselling the software and implementing the software. So that's in process. We don't know yet. And even Paul Adams at the time this morning, Ken Clayton said, we don't know. We have to go in and look at all the partners and where their predominant strengths are.
Okay. This is it. This is your last opportunity to ever ask a question about. No.
Ever? Wow.
I'm sure we will hear much more about IQMS and Delmia Works. As we wrap up, we've got time for one last question. Gary, Manish, Philippe, any final
Philippe?
Final thoughts? Philippe?
Microphone?
Not a single word from you.
Microphone?
They are doing it so well, so I don't need to be there anymore. No, but maybe to come back 1 second on your question, Jay. We are, for the partner, we do know that, you do know that we have a large setup of PS partners. We have started to analyze which one could take this offer with the proper investment capacity, the proper skills. We have a number of them who have some knowledge in manufacturing, some others that have knowledge in some ERPs. So we are going to start with them. So today we have 6 partner resellers reselling IQMS.
Current in the
Delmia
actually. Works partners, yeah.
And we think, that with those ones, that could be the first wave, we could have pretty quickly 20, 30 more. So we do believe that starting this way could be first a very practical and efficient way to scale, to start scaling. Then what we have started to work on together with Gary and Gary's team is we have defined what we call an SMB offer, which is addressing a subset of what is called the mainstream market here, but still a good portion of it, with not the whole portfolio. It's a real well-packaged offer, only 15 modules or so, tailored to those companies, mid-sized companies, so we know exactly which company that offer fits for. And we have a clear definition of what effort is required to implement the solution, how long, which cost, and what would be necessary for a new PS partner in terms of training. So we have defined this. So this other SMB piece of the story is something that we are going to put a program in place. So we would have certain PS resellers, the first category I talk about, starting on the full offer, and this second category where we think that we are going to find a good number of the PS resellers that could jump on that too. It's from a practical point of view, this is a program we're going to put in place.
And that lowers the risk as well, right? It lowers the entry point for these partners, and it lowers the risk of any type of issues coming up, because this is a simpler way to take that $10 million manufacturer is what defines more the SMB you were saying, and helps us get web demo, this much license, this is what you get, this will run your business, and implement it in 60 days or less. And voila. Question?
You mentioned age for platforms and manufacturers now implementing ERP systems. Is cybersecurity going to be a concern? Or is there training related to that, or anything which needs to be done during implementation that manufacturers need to take care of?
Security now is never an issue. I mean, obviously it's enterprise software. So it's a full suite of financials and a lot of private data and information. And as far as our technology, over 25 plus years has been written and built. Even in our cloud offering, we have everything you can imagine that protects the data and the security of the data for our customers. It's never been an issue. So, I mean, on the platform now going forward, I can't speak to how our software would run on the platform, but I would imagine everything is the same.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that there are two different approaches. One is the on-premise solution, which we have mostly. Most of our customers have on-premise solutions. For the cloud solution, it is going to be as secure as 3D Experience Platform. In fact, my claim is that when your data is lying on 3D Experience Platform, there is a team of security experts who are trying to to secure your data.
Secure.
To make sure that there are no vulnerabilities and so on. Yeah. It is more safe on 3D Experience Platform than on your own servers. Because most of the time when your servers have been hacked, you won't even know about it. That's not the case with us.
Okay, and that is it for those of you watching online. Thank you for watching. For those of you in the room, lunch will be served right now in Katy Trail. There's a press conference from RISE, the 3D printing manufacturer and vendor. So thank you for coming.
Thanks, Derek.
Thank you.
You bet.